Did you check off the box? Do a quick mic check.
Check, 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 check.
Yep. Here you all go. All right. Welcome along, everybody, here at the infamous Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the running of Round 7 of the XRS Mercury Cup Series. It's a special weekend for multiple reasons. Here tonight, we have the XRS Throwback Weekend. So everybody here, you're going to see some recognizable throwbacks from different drivers, even some running throwbacks to earlier in their racing career. So there's one reason why tonight's special. Another reason why tonight's special, I'm joined by SSR Mayhem once again, AK in his absence here. Mayhem, I asked if you were able to step in, and you said it's going to be tight, but now you're here. So thank you for being here, and let's see if we can get some good action tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be back. Unfortunately, AK's not here, but glad to be a filler. And yeah, throwback week, love it. I like the off-road, Dylan Hart throwback. That's automatically my pick for best throwback in this race, 100%. So can't change my mind, but yeah, it's very cool to see.
Alright, and then the final reason why tonight's special is more of a personal note, but it is my birthday tonight. So, thank you. So here for a quick birthday celebration. Why not celebrate it with XRS Racing at Indianapolis? So, we have a packed house tonight. We had a total of 26 drivers attempt to qualify into tonight's race. And unfortunately, 4 drivers needed to pack up their bags and go home. Those 4 being Rays, Shorty, Smiley, and Subsonic. With the 4 drivers unfortunately not making the cut.
Yeah,
let's hope
that's definitely unfortunate for those drivers, but you know, the driver fought to do better in the next round. So tough break tonight, but
yep, as there is always next week, no matter how long the series may be, and then if you're at the last race, then there's always next season to improve. So always areas to improve. Here off-road will be the control car. Why not? It's throwback weekend. It's my birthday. Mayhem's here. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys!
And off-road, got a great launch.
Control car, he's able to dictate in that zone all the way from pit wall to start line when he actually wants to take off. But then being 2x2 behind him, Exif looking like he's getting more of a run down there on the bottom line.
You know, I'm sitting here watching the mid pack right now. This guy's already still the first 5 minutes hard. These guys are still 2x2, but a lot of patience already showing back here. And looks like the front starting to, you know, get itself figured out as well.
As you say that, 3 wide for the 3rd place position, as Exif now gets a run to the inside, shuffles off rope to the top.
Yeah, you know, this race, long race, big time, this guy already used to finish right. He's already looked at the road there. Smart move, that race being great. I can just see it live and roll with the still up front, still battling.
Yep, still up front battling hard, and tonight there is an enforced 2 quick stops, so this could be just a lot of guys just trying to get the quick stops out of the way, just so then they don't need to deal with it later on.
These guys are still going 2x2 here. You know, this is kind of nice to see that these slower type cars just kind of style. You know, they're kind of able to do that where you guys have to go speeds at 180, 200 mile an hour. It's a lot harder to stay indoors because your entries are a little bit more aggressive. Guys don't have that fast line, but if you slow it down a little bit more than a cup car, it makes it a little bit easier to do 2x2. So it makes for good racing. It looks pretty good so far.
Yeah, now you start to see 2x2 all the way in really the top 8, all the way stretching out to maybe even the top 10 almost. Guys trying to get formed up with each other.
And these guys, I mean, it's a pace in this game, right? We just talked about how you need to be patient, early in the race, and some guys already in. I mean, and it's smart. It's
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is what you do, though. I mean, I'm going to say it this way. If Slack hits the race, this isn't bad. I mean, this is going to make a rhythm for the race. So, you know, Hawkins to the inside and also takes the lead back over. But I think this is going to help stretch the race. We'll have to see. I mean, you guys are still duking it out front pretty good.
And FM, he was a part of that very first group. So FM, knowing the only reason why the pit stops are, or quick stops are put into play, is because these cars, with these being older GT cars, having the larger fuel cells, they're really fuel efficient. In reality, if we have 1 or 2 yellows, you can go this entire race without pitting. The tires, they won't even wear that much either. So then probably getting the quick stops out of the way, they're just going to be relying on the racing all the way to the end.
He's got a nice run to the outside here, get behind off-road, going into turn 1. Hawk and Smoke is still on the inside, and Crazy Cool right behind this group. The Sly's got 40% transmission damage already. Not something to be too concerned about. It's not a racetrack where that's going to be a major factor. But, you know, you got to take care of the car, and with this stimulation damage type stuff, I mean, you can really make, and that's part of it, right? I mean, you just got to take care of the car. So these guys are going to have to do, like I said early on here. But so far, it's pretty good racing right now.
With that strategy call on FM, he's falling all the way to dead last, 22nd, and 1 lap down. So if the race pace continues to be slow, it could be a long day for him.
Well, I think we're going to have and that, and probably gave himself damage, so he had to bring the car back down and pit road. Now here's the problem with pitting road. You get a lap very car down in there. You don't really have a rhythm to race. You don't really know how to consistently run your laps just yet. I mean, it's so much easier to be a hot lap driver than it is to be a driver racing around other people. So you put your car down there like they did, you come back out, you have no rhythm to coming in pit road. So you reset yourself before you even needed to reset yourself, so that took a lot of time to grab it out.
Very much good. This 3 drivers in a chain that were holding strong on the outside is now Hawk, the leader, trying to defend 2 lanes at once. But Sly and Crazy, they've been working together on that high line, trying to make it work. Stick pretty much dead even with Smokey Unit.
Well, Crazy's just kind of sitting there, seeing who he can work with right now. I mean, if you're the car behind you, he's kind of got the head, right? You don't see a lot of work for yourself. One line is the work not too well, but neither one of these three are moving forward. The fact that bounce around where, oh, we got to do this, you're kind of seeing right now, we're starting to fall apart from the outside. And here they go.
Yep, there we go.
And he's still on. So here's still those numbers, still the really good forward. Track, it's going to make it a little bit harder for Crazy to move forward.
I guess that can be an advantage point, though, you being the last car on the tail line. And like you said, you get to pick and choose a line. Now Smokey jumps out of line. He feels like he has something going on. And that leaves off-road almost to the dry on the bottom. Smokey trying to make a move for the lead here.
I see somebody in the chat apparently need to turn this out, but yeah, I mean, these guys are, you know, they're getting in single file, they're getting back out of line, they're mixing things up. You see Smokey down to the inside of Hawk now, 2x2 as we go into turns 1 and 2. Off-road, the best throwback scheme on the field on the bottom, following Smokey, and you got Sly on the outside, and once again, Crazy not, you know, it's not bad to be back there because he can try to, you know, maneuver if something goes wrong. But the problem is these first 30, 40 laps, he can't get by and they stay green. You know, you gotta start putting it in the back of your head. Can I make a move? You know, when the time comes to having to make moves, because this is the time to learn. And right now, the 4 cars really are not learning much. They're learning that they can stick to one another. But what Crazy's learning is it's hard to pass right now. And if these cars are going to continue to do this, I might need to come out of line. I might need to make a stop adjustment. You know, with this game, you can't make big adjustments or nothing, but you can try to pit early, try to get out of their group, stay out if they are going to pit, and try to see if you can jump a couple of these cars and then when you get back to the group of it, if you can stick it or get away from it, it might be an advantage later in this race.
Could be, and I'm going to pull up the track map here real quick. You see this cluster of cars on the backstretch, big gaps all the way to cars behind, those are lap to cars, and then you see this long stretch of cars on the front stretch entering turn 1 now. This is all of the pit groups that went into pit road early on. Meanwhile, well, this top 5 elects to stay out, try to stretch as long as they can. It's a matter, I feel like when you have these quick stop scenarios, it's a matter of when you decide to do them. Because some, they're like, okay, it's 2 stops, let me just split it down the middle or try to put it into 3/3. Like, there's really a lot of give and take on where you elect to pit.
Well, you know, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, you talk about Crazy again, sitting there in that 5th place spot, really not making any adjustments to be moving forward in that little pack of cars he's in right now. But, you know, pitting early, making a later pit than the guys you're with gives you an opportunity to show if you're a little bit faster than everybody else. I'm not sold that the draft is a big factor here with the type of style of car that we have got on track. I don't know if that draft is really a big advantage. So if I'm Crazy or somebody that's behind a group of cars, I'm going to think, you know what, I got nothing to lose. It's early in the race. I'm already seeing that not a lot happening. Let me get out of this little group that I'm in. Let me make an adjustment, see if I can do something on my own. But by the time these guys repit, you're probably going to hope for caution unless you set yourself up for maybe, you know, an advantage later in the race. But it's going to be a challenge. I mean, and I'm looking through the field right now. You got 2 3-car packs. They're not 2 3-car. They're 4 5 cars. I'm hopped on and back to black just past someone in front of you and expired followed him. But these guys are just kind of chilling behind one another, and you kind of see the same thing at the front right now. Now Crazy has moved up.
He just moved up and move around. Hawk and off-road. Off-road, he recently changed his gamer tag a little bit.
I was going to say, well, I assume he did. I've seen him before, but yeah, I didn't see how Crazy got through this. I would have been expecting he's hopping around the field for a moment, but it's good to see Crazy up front. But now these other guys, in off-road specifically, it looks like we got guys going into the road, actually. And that's what's happening right now. So now, you got Sly who takes over the race. This is a 2-car battle with Crazy. Well, you know, if I'm these guys, I'm going to pick the next lap. I don't want to get out of sync with those guys at this point. And I want to make sure I'm with them. I want to be able to adjust when they adjust, make different decisions when I'm racing with them. And right now, the pit exit is such a huge thing because if these guys have a bad pit exit and these 2 go in, well, they might be able to have a little bit of advantage when they come back together.
Now, it is throwback weekend, so I think we can take a little bit of time right now to acknowledge the different schemes we have. Currently, the top 2, Crazy running a Jeff Burton throwback, and then you have Sly running a Kurt Busch throwback. Very nice touch with the golden number that he decided to do on the side of the car. I don't know if Kurt quite ran the golden number.
I can't personally say that I remember it or not. You know, these are doing exactly what I said they should be doing. They're making a pit stop here.
Exuv running a Kevin Harvick throwback. Oh, that's a nice throwback.
Yeah, there's a lot of different throwbacks out there right now. It's pretty, it's pretty good to see with all the. There's a lot of times where you do a throwback and the guys won't be part of the throwback. They just want to run the speed. They pretty much ran it all season long. It looks like MVP's going to take the lead for the moment, but he's got Rough Rabbit to the inside in turn 1. And again, I think these guys are part of the earlier group that is pitted. It looks like that is the case when I just checked their statistics there. But, you know, making an early pit stop doesn't necessarily mean there's really any advantage. I mean, if there's no caution throughout this race, these guys that are pitted early on, they're going to have to make another pit that they don't want to make, more than likely because they're out of the cycle. And we'll see how that plays out. I mean, you got the two cars leading, and then there's another group of cars stand behind them in about a 2x2 pack.
Rough Rabbit MVP elected going to pit road right now.
It's so weird that they're doing that. Look, I'm not, like, listen, they had no tire wear problems when I took a look at MVP. There was no fuel problems. They had 86% fuel. I don't know what the decision there is to be pitting like that. In my opinion, it's not a smart decision. Actually, it's frustrating to see them do that. I would like to have seen them stay out, because if they stay out and caution comes out, then everybody comes down pit road, be back on the cycle, and then with that, they get their position. So again, track position is key based on what we're seeing so far. So I don't get that pit stop decision. That actually frustrates me quite a bit. But we got a new race leader, and we're gonna see these four guys up front do. I know that they have pitted together. Look, they got 7% on the tire wear based on culture stats here. But 80% in the tank. I hope these guys can stay out. But I don't know. That was a surprise to me.
Strategies all over the place.
I mean, they're pitting again.
Caution can go down the pit road. Meanwhile, Bagged and Rocket.
I just call them back. But my whole thing here is, I mean, even if I look at these guys leading right now, 80%, 7.3. Actually, I might be completely wrong. No. Their fuel is going down on my screen. Okay, I thought maybe I had a glitch there. But I don't have to glitch. That's the point of view is, why are these guys making this decision to pit if you got all that in the tank?
See, my thing here is that with the way that this race went out the first time, because this is the second time we've been here in Indy, and first race it was exactly the same thing. We forced the two quick stops, and the two quick stops, people just did them right away. Because in reality, the fuel and the tires that you can get in these cars, they wear to a point to where it doesn't matter. And I understand the point of trying to get track position, the way we've seen the racing, but if everybody has been on this same page of just get the stops done right away, and if that's what everybody's doing, why go a different route?
So here's my thing. We just got done talking earlier about the fuel isn't going to be a problem in this race. The tires really won't be a problem in this race. This car, if this gets maybe one or two cautions, you can make it to the end. But we're already a quarter almost into this one. And we got guys who have already pitted twice going back down into pit road. There's no advantage to that. It's actually hurting you much more. So if these guys up front right now, these two guys specifically, I am running this car as long as I can, because nobody even has a clue right now where they're at on the field. At least I don't. And if one caution is the difference between making it to the end and having to pit stop, then these guys should be fine. So I'm questioning the decision-making on track. We've already seen 2 or 3 pit stops in this one. A little frustration from my end just because I don't understand it. And we've seen a lot of pit stops. So unless they're trying to get back on the cycle, which again, I don't know what cycle there is, it just doesn't make sense to me.
And as you say that, another driver went into pit road. That looks like RPM Assassin, and he's lone wolf. Nobody seems to be following him
now,
at the moment.
let me ask you a question. Is there a rule? Is there a limit? Like, do they have to pit in this race? Like, is there a mandatory stop limit?
A mandatory stop. Oh, a limit. So a cap on how many times you can pit.
I guess I should reword that. Let me reword that.
Okay.
Is there a minimum amount of pit stops they have to meet in this race?
Minimum, it's only the 2. Only the 2.
Okay, so that's what I was at first. But that makes more sense now. Everyone's making their second stops. So, okay, so that answers that question. Now we got Smokey and Hawk back to the race lead. Alright, so now I can retract all my feelings here. So, if they've already made their 2 pit stops, we should not be seeing any more pit stops. So if I see any more pit stops, I'm going to go mad here. Because There's no reason to make these pit stops. But if somebody doesn't know this stuff, then maybe that's why they make that decision. But I know based off other things that typically when somebody comes out and says you can make it until the end, 90%, if not 100% of the people that are competing get that memo, and then they're gonna apply that. So I'm really interested to see what happens here. I do believe Hawk and Smokey have another pit stop left based on the gap.
Yes, I believe that they do have one more pit stop to make, because neither one of these guys were a part of that first group, and they stayed out for a little while in that group of 5, and then these two were part of the 3 cars that went. So, yes, I believe these two have one more stop.
Now, my only question to that is the group behind them, who was with them before the cycles happened, crazy fools being shoved right now by Slide. They got Jakeem behind them. Jakeem, I also think, has another stop, but he's been slowly moving forward in this one.
Yeah, Jenkum, slowly and steadily making his way. Jenkum, he pops into XRS once in a blue moon, and I mean, very busy schedule. We all have lives outside of Forza Motorsports. Jenkum, he has very limited availability. He actually works for a NASCAR Xfinity team. So, very cool little background story there.
But, I know you say Jacob, but I've always called him Jakeem, so I don't know what he prefers to be called, but he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. I'll let you. I've known him for a while. He doesn't care. He didn't even know how to pronounce his name for the longest time.
Isn't that interesting? I created my name. I have no idea how I'm gonna pronounce it. So you guys say what you want, and I'll just listen. But let's note here, those guys in the front have pitted, except for Crazy Fools. Jakeem as well has stayed out. So for the time, Crazy is your leader. This is interesting. There's been not a lot of action. I mean, there's been action, but there has been a lot of wreckage, cautions and stuff like that. I'm really curious to see who's made a mistake on track on their own. And I'm kind of curious to see where everyone's going to kind of play out here. I think that lap 30 we should have that answer, at least maybe sooner.
Okay, now Crazy and Jenkum making their second stops. And that will give the lead to, I believe, Black and Black.
Yeah. So I'm hopped on with...
Ooh! Oh!
Okay. I thought Rough Rabbit and MVP were going around.
Oh, we were looking at 2 separate things then. Someone in Back in Black nearly got together in turns 1 and 2.
Well, MVP just came off turn 4, and Rough Rabbit's right on him. It just happened again. So a little bit of the replay system having its fun, but MVP was almost halfway around, and I said, oh boy. I want to know what MVP's throwback is. Oh, he's throwback to
I don't quite believe it's a Richard Petty throwback.
It's got the STP logo. Oh, no, sorry, that's Pepsi.
No, that's Pepsi.
I have no idea who he's
I made that car, so it's some
so
random...
We found the guy in the field that didn't want to do throwback weekend. Alright, got it. So we got the guy with MVP. He's rebelling against the uppers. The heck with you and your throwback weekend, he said. No, I know MVP pretty well. He's a pretty laid-back guy. He's not one to really... He's more the guy that, hey, I'm here, I got paint already based on regulations. I'm not going to worry about that. So, yeah, not surprised. I should have just not hopped on board with him and just thought it was an STP routine. Maybe that would have gotten him away. Because I didn't see the Pepsi logo. It was over.
Well, understandable though. The driver, the colors all next around sides.
So Back in Black's open in front of you and expired all down pit road. Jakeem's going to take over the race lead here.
Nope, Exu.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I was gonna take it. Keeps name popped up first for me for some weird reason. I don't know why. And he's not even
Well,
in the front, so
yeah, the spectator sometimes does that. As me and you both know, you, of course, being the predominant commentator for your series, MEA, I know you guys just ran a race in your GT championship today. How did that go?
it was very good. Last it was it wasn't, you set the races up for certain things. They were supposed to be no issues for tires and fuel, but became a tire wear factor, and it really cut nicely at the end of the top six. With 2 laps to go, it got really wild, and Marty was not able to pick up, or I'm sorry, ESP Bobbers was able to get by design and pick up the first one on the season. So big day for Bobbert. So it's been over a year since May of 2022 since he picked up his last win in MEA.
Oh, so things sounding good over there.
It was a very competitive, very thrilling race, so it was a good time. And, here we are at XRS at the Brickyard, and look at this. We see Extive and Dawson, who were leading off for that pit cycle, and MVP has been dragging Rough Rabbit to these guys, and now we got ourselves a 4-car fight.
Indeed we do. These guys, Rough Rabbit MVP, they were working together after the pit cycle, and now it's been really just a drag race, like you said. Rough Rabbit kind of being dragged along, MVP trying to find the right line to get that right pull-up to the Dawson's back bumper. So we'll see. They're kind of separated at the moment, Rough Rabbit and MVP. For now, they might just want to chill in line. Don't want to do much.
Well, you gotta remember, we're on that 26 of 61, or I guess 25 of 60, if you want to make it exact. But, it's still early in the race. There's no reason to take crazy moves. I go back to what I said earlier. These are a lot slower on track than the actual cup car that's in the game. At least based on the BOP and how you can design and make cars faster or slower. But typically, most people won't do that. So if we compare the two cars, this car's going much slower on the racetrack. They're kind of able to just kind of be a lot more chill. Where when you're in the cup car, it's a lot quicker. It is, and it's harder to do this 2x2 stuff, and making decisions are a lot quicker. Tend to be a lot more aggressive. The cars are a lot more fast. So you're not really able to sit on somebody floor like you're seeing here. So that slower speed, it's just a lot easier to control the car, and everyone, most people do it because the slower the car, just the slower the race series, typically the better the race. At least if you're looking for the side-by-side close fighting style of racing, where a lot of the faster cars, the prototype and stuff like that, it gets spread out instead of the speed, or the overall speed. And here we go, we're back to a 2x2 here, and it's kind of funny because MVP goes Dawson, Rough Rabbit, and MVP go next to there. So they're not in it for each other. They're looking to win.
Well, I believe everybody here is on a different team. Rough Rider, part of Uber Motorsports, MVP, part of Team Trackhouse, Dawson, a solo driver, not acquired to a team, and Exu, she's on SS Racing. So, and now they've slowed. Caution is out.
Caution, yeah, I was about to say. They kind of disbanded awkwardly there. I don't see what happened on track. I did see FM Esports slowly pick up on the back straight slightly, but he's not far from back in black. So I don't know. Could have been a case of back in black, but I'm going to hold my personal feelings to myself there. But the fact that I thought FM was part of that, in my opinion, it could have been those two tangling in the back of the pack. So I kind of didn't want to see that come out because the race up front was still, it was pretty good. It was heating back up. This is okay. It's better for you to go back together. Now the question is, who did they make their second pit stop yet? Because
that is a very big question.
Because and this is what I was telling you earlier. Depending on what you decide early in the race, could be your downfall later. And if I don't know if Exit and Rough Rabbit and MVP and Dawson, or these top four, have made their second stop yet. But if they didn't, and all these guys behind them did, they're going to have to go to the back end of the field. And if, like you said earlier, as Deadpool was showing a sign to keep going into pit road, they're going to have to, they're going to have to deal with the rest of the pack. They're going to have to get to the field and all this stuff. And these guys are probably not going to pit again unless they get some damage. So kind of curious what Deadpool's doing here, because he's actually exceeding speeds. That's putting him closer to pit road than he should, at least based on I guess my standard, so to speak. Because he's going to get an advantage here if others drive in. There's no, they don't have to enter from the actual the bottoms when you do that.
We don't have access road rule for Indianapolis. The commitment line is pretty much pit wall. So if you hit it, well, you did that to yourself.
So I
for the
don't
most
see these
part,
front guys pitting.
none of the front guys went in.
There's a handful of drivers in the back that did, or at least 3. So maybe these guys front did. I don't know. I was pretty sure that these guys had to pit again.
Or maybe they've elected to not pit right now. So maybe another risk versus reward gamble. Very interesting the way everybody's thinking. But when we get back restarted, we're pretty much going to be at or very near the halfway point in this race. So based off of what we see in the first half, not a lot of action in terms of, like you said, wreckage and cars getting together, but that was because the field was mainly very spread out. A lot of them were making their 2 pit stops right away.
Did we get an update on what brought that caution up? Do we have any idea?
No, not quite.
I'm pretty sure I know what happened. Now I'm gonna keep my personal opinions to myself, but we're gonna see how this plays out, and we're gonna really dig in. I personally don't think Exodus and Dawson are on pace with MVP and Rough Rabbit, but it looks like Rough Rabbit's got the outside lane on the restart here. So he got by Dawson before the caution had come out. I didn't really pay attention to that until now, so anyone was watching, you're welcome to miss that. But, yeah, I'm really curious to see how this restart. Now, I'm going to go further in the back. I think I want to be back here and keep an eye on things and see if anything crazy happens. And my favorite car is all the way in the back as well. So, all right, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, we're going to see. When we get restarted, we will have completed 29 of the 61 laps, technically, this lap. Exit Rough Rabbit will lead the front row to green this time. Dawson and MVP make up row 2. Riding along with Rocket. Back to green.
Here they go. And the back of the pack was in that slinky effect at the start. It didn't look like they got cool effect, but the outside lane did not get going exactly the way they wanted to. Now they're all dipping down, leading side. But at least they get everything good. And they're definitely, they're single filing out really fast in the back of the pack.
That's what we tend to see at this more pack-esque racing with the cars being so close together at Indy and Daytona. A lot of cars just tend to try and get single file immediately.
The back of the field's pretty much calmed down. They calmed down before they turned one. So I'll hop back. We'll start before dancing. Crazy cool, we talked about him being part of that 5-car pack early. He's out currently on the outside, 12 battling for 11 right now. With me in there, he got by him to the inside off turn 4. Crazy cool. Talk about I'm gonna be up front battling. Mid-pack, and I'm in trouble.
Up front, exit Dawson leading the charge. First and second, Rocket, who restarted 5th, able to make his way through to now 2nd, making a move on Dawson. 3 wide for the 4th spot. Rough Rabbit, Bagged, and RGX Cam trying to make a move.
Yeah, I've never seen Cam move better. They're probably 4 wide.
Oh,
4 wide. And Cam just got nudged.
But now, that killed his momentum.
I mean, that's just one of those things we talk about going, putting the figure spot. I feel like Hawk made just too aggressive. I benefited him, but he treated a lot of people there.
MVP making a dive down low.
Yep, I'm on board with that right now. I saw that. It's all like Hawk and fast. Gonna throw a little bit back at you there. But yeah, I mean, that was definitely a big boost for Hawk there. But you gotta be a lot more aware of it. Oh, we got a wreck at the back of the pack, all the way to the back of the field right now. Bunch of cars going around off of turn 4, and it looks like someone in front of you, one of the golfers here, but I don't know who else was in it because they're still going forward. I saw a handful of drivers. I think Deadpool as well was involved in that little peak there, and based on our XRS rule, I do believe there's a amount of cars, correct?
It's just if a car gets damaged, then that will count as a caution. And let's see here as they come across to the line. I don't believe a caution, right? Nope, they all stayed in.
That was very interesting when I was looking back there. I was further up in the mid-pack. These small things are everywhere, so I don't know how these guys
X7 bags making contact with each other, getting very close to the outside wall. MVP making moves on Rough Rabbit for the lead.
You know, you talk about didn't notice it early in this race, but how patient the driver's going to be, and you see Badger to the outside, or Badger, sorry. He got way wide from 3, about to lose a few more spots there. You got a JD McFall, and I saw him way up in the top 5. You know, it's a lot of different story again than what it was early in the race. It's a different group of guys up front battling and talking them how to not take the lead. Jakeem as well, he's the inside of Rough Rabbit. Yeah, there's a bunch of new faces up front. This isn't even what it was earlier.
Very much different.
Dawson back there. I mean, Rough Rabbit's losing a bunch of spots.
Went from the lead to now see you later.
Look at this, MVP and JDM College are trying to make a third lane out of their turn 3, but it's hard to do that. Well, it works in turn 3, but when you get to turn 4, the outside, the very outside of the track is really bumpy and really unstable, so you can't really take more than 2 lanes in turn 4. I mean, that is a very big challenge. You can pretty much do that in turn 3. I don't know about any other part of the track, so they would have needed a ton of momentum, and then they would have had to clear, you know, before they got to turn 4.
All those cars getting stuck together, kind of shuffled out to just inside the top 10 now, that 8th through 11th.
Here we go with this kind of nonsense driving right now. You're looking at the, sorry to say it that way, but that's what it is right now. You got Rocky again going the weirdest block there after they come off turn 2, block off Jakeem. You bring the rest of the cars down to the bottom of the grass, and if something does go wrong, it's going to shoot back up to the wall of the track, which comes across the entire field. I don't like that play there. That was a little bit too much defensive driving, a little too much aggressive driving from the guy behind. So, you know, you gotta make it to the end, guys. We're at the halfway point of this one, and right now these guys are just over a little bit of halfway already. You can't be making those type of decisions. I mean, you could do that late in the race, fine. I can understand that was close to being.
Whoa! Hawk getting shuffled out through the middle.
Coach King got too close.
MVP into the wall! Rough Rabbit and Oracle around with them as well.
That's a surprise. MVP's around. And fortunate for MVP, that's a tough break. He had a really good car. He was up. My gosh, and that was super, super close. The MVP trying to go back on the track, and he got just annihilated from someone in front of you. And MVP's got a ton of damage for his car. I mean, that's body damage, suspension damage, rotor damage, all the above damage, like 8% transmission damage. MVP definitely took a look in there.
Very unfortunate.
I'm checking these other guys too. It looks like everybody else is, oh my gosh, 12% transmission damage on someone in front of you. I don't know how you're getting that. 4% on Deadpool.
I'm not quite sure either.
I mean, the only way they're getting that is they're getting that at the start of the restart, or they're shifting up. But I mean, I don't know how these guys got their setups. I know there's two different ways to set up your clutch. You can have it in its standard spot, which is the LB, which is the left bumper, or you can actually just change the clutch to A, and you just kind of thumb tap both buttons at the same time. But I don't know if that is just an issue. I know sometimes people don't make the change. So I mean, if you're using your left bumper, I mean I don't really feel like that's the easiest thing on the planet to do. But yeah, that was a tough break for MVP. He was definitely moving up the field.
Yeah, but we've seen MVP rally before. We've seen him go from the back. We've seen him pretty much go from 18th to the lead. And back in black, he DNF'd. I'm not quite sure when. Not quite sure right now when that happened. Mayhem, you didn't catch.
What'd you say?
You didn't catch that, right? That back in black. That he or was it a DC or?
You know what? Nothing happened on my screen, so I have no idea really what had happened to him.
Okay.
Maybe just fed up.
Just wondering.
I don't know. He might have flagged out. Sometimes the game doesn't really tell you when someone lags out. You don't get the little glitch on the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens at ME all the time, you know, doing those races. But which is kind of nice because I don't have to see the stupid Forza logos show up in stream. But you know, at the same time, you don't really realize they're gone until you pay attention to the loop, where you realize, oh, I don't have X amount of drivers still on track.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
However, there was a few cars that went into pit road. Rough Rabbit, someone in front of you, MVP. I don't know what Smokey's doing. I think Smokey might be being put to the tail of the field here, and I think he is what created that wreck with MVP, and I think they're forcing him at the tail of the field here for him.
That might be, because if you are involved in the yellow, if you're involved in the yellow, you do need to go to the tail end. So, obviously, the race director, being Culture, he obviously probably instructed Smokey. Or, we've seen it in the past where some people willingly, voluntarily go to the back of the pack. But I don't think that's the case here. Excuse me, I had the hiccup snapped. I'm sorry.
Well, we're going to get another good restart here. I'm curious this guy's going to play. I'm going to stay up front this time, though. Just ride along with the storm, I'd say. Apparently Rocket promised free Mountain Dew if he wins. Whoever he's...
that definitely was something that he said. If you look at his car, Mountain Dew pitch black.
Yeah, the grandstand is not doing a blackout, but there's not enough.
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued right now. Dawson's still up there at the top 5. Exo is pushed back. Crazy Fool's actually moved up a couple spots. The guys who've seen up in front earlier off-road and slide 11 and 12. And yeah, Smokey's in the back, so here we go.
Here we go indeed. Green flag, back up.
Rocket Dawson really jumped that restart really good behind Rocket, which got him the advantage over Jakeem there. You see Jakeem, he gets right in line behind Dawson with Chad with Hawk.
Now the
Cam.
top 4, 5, all the way going down to 7th now are single file.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the front of the pack moved out quicker than the back of the pack this time, but it looks like the rear of the field is starting to cancel out again, and it's kind of interesting to see that, because I think it has a lot to do with your start of the rocket. So, you know, you get a good jump and know it's good, and you're the whole 2x2x2, but if you don't, chase up, you start seeing cars go low. If you got 3 cars moved up outside, mid-pack right now, but they're not really connected, and they're, you know, trying to go anywhere.
Now things starting to get a little dicey up front. Hockey got shuffled out of line. Indeed.
Yeah, we see Hawk got picked up. What was that? Tomato? Yeah, Tomato.
Yes. Oh. Now Tomato might be going with that.
Now, apparently, if you hold it in 5th gear and you got together, two-car back, you can start to see the outside line coming forming together. Osprey's way down to the inside, and Rocket with another really bad block. I mean, I'm trying to keep my personal feelings with that. That was a bad block.
Dawson having the run to the outside. Jenkins sticking line. Exim with a really huge run. He might get to the inside of Jenkins, but he denies him. But now. That is Dawson and RZX Cam stuck on the outside. There you see the name that we've been seeing before, Crazy Fools. He's made his way to 7th.
Crazy Fools has been kind of fighting through the field in the last couple of weeks. Bring that slide with him, though. And those guys were up front earlier. They kind of knew how to get the job done, so look out for them.
Teammates.
Well, you know, yeah, I go for the whole teammate system here, but I do know that they're there. You were telling me about them earlier, and I've done my last time right here, too. But, we've got a couple of lines getting formed here. My issue is, I'll be honest, if Taco is in this race right now, I'm behind Rocket. I'm not in it. He comes across and doesn't know what I'm doing. I'm the left hand side. He's running way too many blocks right now. They're not even blocks. They're just, someone goes on, he's dragging it all the way down there. You gotta know your limits and you know your run. So, you know, if I'm these guys, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna make him pay the price for doing it. Because I realize that it's being too nice right now. We're half for the race.
Yeah, we're getting close to that go time window to where we're probably going to see a lot of guys no longer play the game of give and take.
Well, give and take should be the first 2/3 of the race. We're still in it. I would say with about 15 laps to go, you really want to start making your moves. It's just plenty of time, especially if you're in the top 10. Plenty of time to move around. The way that this race is going, everyone's really packed tight. So you're not really losing a lot right there. And Rocket got a little bit of time there. They're going around.
I believe you're familiar with the 3-tap rule. That's just a rule of thumb. It's not a rule for us.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, the first 2 are ham here. The last one is get out of my way. I think Tomato's not going to get this.
Oh. Yeah. Crazy Fools and Hawk, they get together. Now, Creed spinning down to the inside. Not able to save the car. He's into the wall.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. Crazy Fools is really good. You know what? Yeah, I don't know what happened. I know Hawk.
Tomato now with a run up front. Tomato and Exiv get to the inside of Rocket.
Crazy Fool is not moving on track. Not get his spark going. He finally got it moving. He's got 100% everything. Complete destruction of the front of the car. I'm going to say we're probably going to see the yellow wave here.
So, a couple things might have happened here. One, Crazy might have not actually given the call because it is
about the
up
pass
to that person. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Oh! That's car
Oh, I didn't even see the end of that. Well, as much as I would like to say that Crazy wasn't at fault there, he was definitely at fault. He's on the racetrack, shouldn't be on the racetrack. He's go a lot lower than that. He's on the racing line, and that's just, unfortunately, that's considered a motor. It's really unfortunate. It looks like Crazy is pulled out of the race, however. That's unfortunate. I mean, tough break for Crazy cool. If they're staying green.
Now the caution is out.
Okay, I was about to say, they were left in there. I was like, wait a minute here. Like, we just had a bunch of cars just get. Yeah, I mean, it all starts with whatever happened with him and Hawk. Like I said, Hawk's a very aggressive driver from past history. From my personal experience, I know he's gotten a lot better with his craft. And then Crazy had no car, but why are you on the apron of the racetrack at that point? You got a lane down low. He was already past the tire barrier that blocks that lane. That was poor execution by Crazy there. So I love Crazy. He did a great job today. He was coming back up through the field. Tough break for him. Just gotta be a lot more aware than that.
This would make up for the third caution of the day.
There's a car on pit road.
45.
That was Deadpool. I think he had some damage. I think he was one of the cars that took the hit.
Yep. Yeah, definitely was one of the cars that went around Deadpool. Crazy, he ended up getting tagged, where he then pulled off and went home.
No? This changes things.
Now, where you said that window about it's go time at around 15 to go, like you said just a handful of laps ago. So for this restart, we're going to be hitting that number now.
Well, you're right.
In that window.
This is what I consider crunch time. So we're probably going to see a lot of elbows up, and I'm hoping that aggressive but respectful driving is in the order of the end of this race here, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, these guys were really good for the first 25, 30 laps. Cautions come out. The last few restarts, the restarts have been pretty good. I have no issues with the restarts, but I'm actually really curious. So with Deadpool going in the pit road prior to, in my opinion, them opening it up, does he have to go to the tail of the field on this restart?
Yes.
Now okay, so all right. I just was kind of curious about that because I did notice he was open.
So the way that the caution rules work is that there are two parts of the caution. There's when the caution is called and then when the caution is officially out. When caution is called, when the race director for this race culture, when he then tells everybody, caution at the line, he will give the call and the command, caution at the line. Pit road is automatically closed. It is open to those who have damage and need to go into pit road, but just because it's open for them does not mean it counts as a regular pit stop. So they go through, then pit road is open under pacing, under yellow, after they've crossed the line. So that's when pits are open, everybody in the field gets to go pit, and then the people who have already pitted for damage for the caution, they now get to go to the tail end.
Well, I hate to rain on your parade, but Deadpool is not going to the tail of the field.
That's very curious. He is towards the back.
He's towards the back, but these are the guys that pitted behind him, so that's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't get the opportunity to pit. He had already pitted before pit road apparently was called. It's one of those things. They just, I guess these guys are okay. I don't know what's being talked about there. Very interesting. How about this though? You got MVP. He's back into the top 10 in 10th. I guess 10th of the top 10. He's involved in that earlier accident. One of them, I should say. It's crazy. His off-road hasn't even been up front for a while, but he's sitting there 9th, 8th, 9th, somewhere like that.
Yeah, we haven't seen off-road up front until the very beginning of this race.
Oh, here we go again. We're going to find out how aggressive these guys are going to be. It's really hard to be too aggressive, I feel. The speeds these guys go. waiting to block. Dawson got a really bad restart there. Maybe not really bad. It wasn't great.
Jenkins going to really get going on the inside behind Tomato. Exif, he's going to be able to clear them.
The Rocket
Exif falls in line.
Yeah, Rocket's got Cam behind him. They're still up to the outside. Jakeem, but Dawson and Sly on the inside. So the 2 cars in the top 2 spots pretty much level it out. But now the outside lane's having a bad spot. And you're kind of seeing it because Rocket and them are starting to fade a little bit back. Austin out to the inside of Rocket. That outside line doesn't have a lot of momentum right now.
They are able to gain a little bit on the corner exits, but corner entry is starting to fade a little bit, but more cars are starting to migrate to the top. Will that give them a little bit more momentum?
You know, the top 2 cars in the line kind of pull that outside line if they want, but they're not. Tomato's trying to get Exit off him, but he did the opposite. He let Exit get to the bottom of it, but he didn't make the smooth low to high. Now he's about to lose 3 or 4 spots.
Very much losing momentum. Rocket is falling behind.
Yeah, I just was about to say he got shoved up the track, or he had gone up the track, and he's lost about 6 positions back there to close.
Whoa, Exif Jenkum almost did a switcheroo.
Well, we're not racing any car yet, so I don't think we're really here. So let's just that we can.
Hey, who knows? Maybe it's superstition. Trying to wait
Well, I mean, I've seen it like 6 or 7 times, and I just don't get every time somebody has done it out of those 4 however many times I've seen it, they've lost their spot over it because they lose momentum because they're leaving too much. And if not, they're blocking, which is something that Rocket was doing earlier. The blocking makes no sense because you're putting yourself in a situation that you don't need to be in. Just put the car up to the wall, drive as fast as you can, get to your inside, try to throw the block, but don't throw it too late. Is caught up to the outside, but that's off-road to his inside.
Yep.
We might see the normal suspect if you're going to put for crazy pull, but I guess I'm, you know, kind of what I just said. This is Mercury back at 20, so maybe we won't, but... Oh my
Whoa,
gosh.
Dawson! That was Dawson and Hawk all the way to the inside wall, throwing blocks against each other.
And this is, you know, I know this we're talking about crunch time, but that's the stuff you don't need to be doing. You don't have enough laps to recover from an accident up front. You gotta be patient, put yourself in a good position, and if you lose a spot or 2, just regroup, get back to it. Nobody's getting away from anybody right now. Why are we running this slow to the grass?
They're getting close. They all want it.
This is gonna result into a wreck. They keep racing the way they're racing right now. They're gonna have a huge wreck coming up, and I see Dawson get to the inside here, almost took the back end out. Taking her for dear life.
Exif Dawson, these two have worked with each other in the past, but here, approaching the 10 laps to go mark, there is no surrender.
So here we go with about 10 laps to go, but Exif still leaning over Dawson. I think they're settling down again. I don't know, but what I do know is, like I said, they're racing. I mean, look what they're doing here. I mean, they're hugging the apron for no reason. If somebody gets an outside run, I don't think these guys understand that you can get an outside run, but you see it throughout this race. These guys are literally putting themselves in a position they don't need to be in. They're going to get to that outside line, and when they do, if they do, they decide to make the attempt. They get 2, 3 cars up there on the backstretch. They're going to make that move because what they're doing is when they're coming off turn 2, they're throwing their cars down. They're still, they're still turning into the turn. These guys behind ease off and go up the racetrack. They're going to get a run on these guys that are running down.
Dawson getting a move on Exif! Caution. That was a race back to caution flag.
And who was it? Let's find out. A couple cars, actually, a couple cars at the rear. Badger and Oracle. And, we haven't really talked much about Oracle. He's been pretty much running in the mid-pack all race long, but he's got full body damage, and to go back to back, he's also got full damage. He's actually got worse damage, so they definitely got together there. But that's a product thing. That's a product of what they're doing on a track right now. And like I said, when these guys are cutting across each other's noses like that, right? So when they're coming off turn 2, they're slowing themselves down more. If these guys behind want to, all they gotta do is take normal NASCAR line, ease up the racetrack, and they're gonna get a run. And if you get 2 or 3 of them with the draft, they're gonna get to these guys. And these guys have no idea they're coming. But the problem is everybody's cutting down low, even 2 by 2. So what that does is that pinches the guy to the inside, and once that guy gets pinched,
Mayhem. Your mic is starting to become very glitchy on the stream.
Well, let's just get that fixed, shall we?
I'm like, I know you're going through a big speech right now, but they can hear only half of it.
Well, it might be, I don't know if that fixed it or not, guys, but let me just double check here.
Yeah, we can double check here. Might as well try to get it done now.
That's I can hear my voice fine through the stream now, so it should be good. I took it out, plugged it back in. But going back to what I'm saying is, if these guys can make a run to the outside on these guys up front, they're going to be able to get alongside them. But the problem that it is, and what probably created the accident, I'm seeing guys faking a pit stop right now for no reason. But the fact is you pinch a guy to the inside. Once you pinch the guy to the inside, what happens is that guy is going to try to come back up the racetrack. So when that happens, you start bumping and banging, the guys behind catch you, and that's what gets you turned around. So if you don't want to be part of that mess, I would advise these guys to kind of just run the normal line, because I don't think you need to be that low on the racetrack. I don't know about you. Let me know what you think, Fanny, because I don't think they need to be that low.
I mean, I don't think they really need to go that low either, but if that's the way that the race is panning out, I'm not going to try and, me personally, I'm not going to try and, like you said, earlier, just hug yourself up against the wall. If that's what these guys are not noticing, to be more of a quicker lane, and it's keeping these guys all bunched up, with the way that these guys have been bunched up, it almost looks like Daytona with the way these guys are going to be bunched up. So if it's going to be Daytona, then provide Daytona racing of the cars snaking on that backstretch.
Yeah, I mean, what you're seeing here is a slower car on a track that is keeping the racing close, right? So they're not going at high enough speeds to really separate the way that you would see in the Cup car that we have in the game. Going back to my whole point, if you have prototypes on the racetrack and you have hatchbacks on the racetrack, the hatchbacks are always going to be pretty much tight as long as everybody's pretty close in pace. But really, no matter what happens in a prototype, you typically get spread out just because the overall pace is so much greater. So that's kind of the product you're seeing right now with these guys. I would love, and I'm going to say this right now, I don't think the racing is going to change on track. Alright, I don't think it's going to change, though I wish it would, because I don't think it's a bit low. But I would love to see a few of these guys link up, come off at turn 2, run a normal line, and just see if that has an advantage. Because I really think that it will. The way these guys are racing up front anyways, you're bound to get some gains from that.
Now, there is a tandem rule in effect for this race. The ruling is you can't tandem with first place. So,
but my whole point though, we haven't really seen them. They can't really tandem on a track because they're just going to be literally bumper to bumper. So they just need to get in the draft. That's basically what I'm saying. Get in the draft, and push it down the straight.
Here we go. What could potentially be one of the final restarts of the race. And a lot of guys getting a little antsy. They've wrecked before the start.
And that was Cam. Whoever got behind Cam and turned him around. I'm not sure if that's something that he had done.
We will be back under yellow condition here.
And
right off the start.
And just for everybody watching it, my mic's still glitchy. There's nothing much I can do about that. That's a connection issue with Xbox Forza me and fans connection. So apologies, I'm trying to make sure I'm talking as quick as I can.
Well, me and you don't stream with each other often, so we obviously.
But it also was working fine.
Very unpredictably.
Just didn't happen during the start of the race now.
You never know. It's out of everybody's control. So, and for me and you being in the broadcast booth a lot, we oftentimes just need to work with what we got.
Well,
after this, everybody fell in line and we're still doubled. So I don't believe anybody actually caught damage where we weren't at a high enough speed yet for the game to actually give you a lot of damage, if any at all.
okay.
Well, we know they're antsy in the back. Because the leaders, they got their bumpers hit before they even touched the throttle, so we know they're really antsy.
I mean, there's really not much to gain back there. I mean, if I'm a guy probably behind you, and if I'm not, I'm going to be aggressive, but I'm probably not going to be as aggressive as I want to be. I'm going to be looking for the people trying to make mistakes, gaining some spots from them. You know, if there's another caution, I don't know, but I'm probably going to take my time a little more. There's nothing for me to race to win. So I'm going to try to get everything I can.
Let's ride along with Jenkum. Ride along with him. He's the fourth car on the inside. Attempt number 2. Green flag. Dawson, he got a pretty good jump that time.
They're fanning out, but they're not fanning out crazily.
Single file for the most part. Rabbit side by side with Vulture, and Vulture trying to hold that momentum to the inside for Sly for the 5th spot.
Yeah, they're definitely single filing out here front. About 7 8 MVP. And Sly there, double up a little bit. And Culture almost got hooked. Come up anymore. Oh, look at that.
Tomato, yeah, he goes to pit road.
Maybe not paying attention to something specific and realize I have to pit.
Yeah, I have no clue. I honestly have no clue for the moment.
So cars, got 2 cars around, and turns 1 and 2, that's Deadpool and Oracle. Actually, a few cars went to pit road.
What happened?
There's a couple cars wrecked on turn 1, 2, looks like 3 of the cars went down pit road. I guess I'm going to tell you right now, the 2 cars got together, and they got damaged. I don't know what people were doing to pit, but
I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah,
well, I'm assuming neither one of us. Were really paying attention.
I love when people say as caution comes out, well, once the tires get yellow, it really starts being a problem. No. Okay.
No, not really.
That's why we're pitting. You guys should not be pitting. The tires don't start. You don't start feeling the wear and tear of the tire specifically until about 70%. You don't really fall off until about 85%, 80-85%, and then once you hit 90%, it's almost impossible to drive. So if those guys are pitting because of tires, I don't necessarily like that decision. But hey, it's their race. I don't get it.
Well, this will bring out the 4th, 5th yellow of the night. as we did have that crash coming to the restart the previous time, which extended that. But now this will be the final caution, and we will be green to the end. I'm watching here Culture on that last restart. He's slowly working his way up here, trying to get to that top 3. Culture, he hasn't been finishing well the past few weeks, so hopefully if he slugs out just a few more laps here, tries to get himself in the top 3, that'll be a good finish for him that he can build on for the weeks to come.
You're talking about Hawk? Or,
Culture.
Sorry. Well, you know what?
Culture.
Culture had a rough ending anyways, so it's good to see him up front.
Oh, he did race today. Okay, I didn't know that.
Well, he made a late entry, missed qualifying. There was a spot open. He being a registered driver, he was allowed to get into the field. He was back there battling with UDP Mercury most of his race. He hasn't seen a lot of success, but he's definitely gotten a lot better competing with those drivers. And I'm sure a race like this, where you're up front battling and have an opportunity to win, it's got to feel even better. It's tough sometimes when you're not performing the way you want to perform week in and week out. I know Culture, even in XRS, from the races I've watched, haven't been, fantastic for him. So I'm sure he would like you said, to get a good result here today and get that momentum moving on to the next race.
Culture, he is sitting outside of the playoffs right now. He is sitting in 10th. And around 18 points behind the driver that he needs to beat is RZX Cam. So after this race, it's just 3 races until the XRS playoffs. And it will be a doozy. Drivers trying to fight for positioning, make sure they keep their championship hopes alive. And what has been a surprising yet pretty fun season. Mayhem, I don't know how many races you have exactly watched with us, but
I've seen a few. I'm not trying to mention any names, but somebody in this field has somebody that watches him that likes to see him fail a little bit as a joke. So I kind of hear it and then I watch. so I'm kept up with it. But let's talk about MVP back up in the mix after kind of fighting his way. He didn't have a great qualifying from what I could tell, but he definitely is moved up to the field. Recapping his race, he did get involved in an accident early on, sent him way in the back. We won't mention what happened there, just a collision with another driver. However, he's where it matters most. And quite frankly, how these cars drove, I like where he's sitting right now. He's on the outside, I think in the 3rd, maybe 4th row. And the way these guys are driving, I know he's a very smart driver. Just got to finish the job here.
we'll see how it works for everybody. Exif Dawson lead the front row, Hawk Culture the 2nd row, and then Jankum and MVP making up the 3rd row. Green flag back out, we're green to the end.
Dawson there in that 2nd spot. Really been impressive throughout this race. Don't know much about him, but ever since he's been up front, he's been able to keep himself in the mix. And I forget what I said earlier. I didn't think he had what it took to be up front all race, and he's been there. So good to see him up front.
Dawson, a long-time XRS veteran, just hasn't been on a good streak, been on more of a dry spell in recent weeks. So, good to see him making a couple more starts.
And I like where off-road is as well. He's back inside the top 10, currently running right in front of MVP. MVP didn't have a great restart there, but that's nothing to be out of just yet. Still a few laps in this one, and the way these guys have been racing.
And a monster run from MVP! Not MVP, sorry, off-road.
Okay! we got excitement for the wrong guy. I like it. Your team's on the outside.
It's two laps.
And this is where Culture doesn't want to look at that.
off. He let up a little bit. He's like, off-road, give me a push, buddy. We're coming on the white flag.
Ultra stuff to the outside. We got a car down in the inside lane there. Not sure who that was, but they are off the pace.
Off the pace, but in the apron out of the way. Come to turn 4, approaching the line. It will be the last lap of the race.
That's Tomato who had fallen off the pace there, so Tomato out of this one.
Rocket catching up with a big run.
And right now, all Dawson's got to do is stay behind here and try to make something happen and bring him forward. Don't get too antsy in 2. And if you're running out, you got Hawk as an aggressive driver, but he's also got plenty of Rocket. I know both of them kind of got similar racing mentality. There we go. Rocket the outside.
All the way.
We talked about it earlier. Get that run going.
Dawson has a nose to the inside of X2.
And he's going to get him here.
He definitely will. So now, Dawson with a last lap pass. Can he hold him off all at once? One more corner to go.
Off-road got way up to the outside. And oh my gosh, he's going to go around.
Oh!
We got problems.
He saves it. 4 wide for the race lead.
And look at this, Shaquem and them. Oh no.
Rocking it around they go.
Dawson wins.
And others, Dawson. Welcome back to Victory Lane and XRS. Dawson grabs the victory at Indianapolis.
What a mess.
Oh my.
And Dexter just got the raw end of this thing there. I mean, there was no... I'm not going to say there's no need for that. Who was that? FM? Who's on his inside? That was FM. FM got to the inside. So that's I do believe. I mean, they were low off the 3 and 4. And then everybody kind of caught up because the front of the group got all antsy. I don't know how that played out the way it did that. Hey, I mean, it's last lap of the race. You can't blame these guys. You're trying to go for something, but you got, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they look like they all get themselves enough room, but the problem is you get a couple of these guys in the back, and they want to make moves that aren't even there. So I don't know what really caused that whole thing, but that was a mess. Congratulations, though, Dawson.
Congrats to Dawson. They were 5 wide for a second on the front stretch. Oh my.
I don't even know what the final results really are. I know that
I don't even know either.
I would believe that Oracle's the only one that really needs fixed, but hopefully they're getting that figured out.
Oh
but we know for a fact that Dawson won the race. I don't know if Rocket came behind him. I know there's another car there. But
yes, Rocket got P2. We don't know who P3 is. So I don't know if it's Oracle and it jumped him up.
Well, Oracle was part of that issue in the back earlier. I don't think he was in strike distance. I think the timer was way off. Basically, what happens is when you load in and you do pace laps, timer starts different for based off where you are on the field. So you got guys way in the back. So when they're closer to the front, it changes the time frame for them.
Okay, we do have a confirmation now of the top 3. So it's Dawson, Rocket, and Off-Road Hype was able to get himself. So Oracle, we don't know where he quite finished, but Forza jumped him up.
Well, I mean, I took a clip of the carnage at the end, so maybe that could be dissected. They don't figure this out, but...
Yep. Well, I mean, that was wow.
I mean, I'm glad that Dawson, you know, honestly, out of that whole thing that was developing, Dawson was honestly the only driver trying to stay out of the mess. He was actually held up to the outside. I'm kind of surprised that nobody had got pushed up the racetrack and hit him based off where they were. I mean, the entire race, we talked about them sitting to the inside line, and I think that had played a factor coming off before, because they held the inside line, Dawson held the outside, and that pretty much secured him from being, you know, part of that mess there at the end. So, just smart driving from the driver that won the race.
As we're starting to get the podium in here. Make sure, guys, when you join, you check off that audio box, and once everybody has that checked off, we will do a quick mic check for you guys. Alright, so we'll do a quick mic check for you.
Here.
the way back that lap.
Yeah, because that was funny. Okay, I believe I only heard 2 of you guys on the stream.
Yeah.
Off-road was quiet.
Was that? Yeah.
Which is...
Okay, now I heard all 3 of you. Okay. Okay, just make sure you guys just speak up just a tad bit for your interview. So, top 3 order here officially will be Dawson, or unofficially, sorry, Dawson Rocket Off-Road Hype, or now a new name, RRT Off-Road, or TG Off-Road. I don't know what that stands for.
Road, go off-road!
Alright, so the way it works here, Mayhem, you are the color commentator and the special guest for tonight, so you can take it away with 3rd and 2nd. So first will be Off-Road, then Rocket.
Alright, cool, because looking at this final sheet, it's all over the place. Cool, so we're going to
Yes,
start with
it very much is.
First and foremost, Off-Road, congratulations on a hard-fought race. Put yourself back in contention to be there at the end when it mattered. Early in the race, you were up there in that 5-car battle with just all these other drivers. Give us your thoughts on the early part of the race, where you were it was kind of a lot calmer than obviously the end there, and how you fell so far behind to get there, to kind of have to battle your way through there at the end.
Well, at the start of the race, everybody's trying to figure out who they can work with and who they can't, and how fast they can go with each other. So that's definitely the major part at the start. Also, getting those pit stops out of the way, since you can go this whole race, was a key part. I actually ended up doing 3 out of my 2 pit stops because I kind of caused the first caution. But besides the point, it really amped up from like lap 45 when we get really into those quick succession cautions. Everybody's all over the place. We're all apparently going down to the inside white line for no reason. And it all goes to single file, and we're pretty much running it like it's a Daytona package where the outside needs to be formed in order for anything else to go.
Did we lose? You cut out there, for me at least.
But, no, we heard him.
Alright, good. So it was just me. Alright, but yeah, no, so definitely, the beginning of the race was a lot smoother than the end. I was telling Fan, about 15 laps ago is when the crunch time is going to begin. Pretty much around lap 45, as you said. I also agree with you. I honestly was telling Fan as well. I didn't understand why everybody was running so low to that line. I felt that if you come off the corner normally, you probably could have gotten a better run going in the 3, but nobody tried it. So it made for a very eventful racing there at the end. But you were there at the end of the race. You were right there inside the top 10. You were running